Yeah.
My favorite.
It's Judd's Hockey Show.
And it's not just Judd's Hockey Show. It's Judd's Hockey Show. Road to the World Junior Championships with Judd and AJ Fredrickson producing, co-hosting, and today guiding the ship. World Juniors, of course, coming up. They start on December the 26th. And before we get to AJ, who's put together a list of U.S. players who you should be excited about being able to see, a reminder that this great event starts December 26th at Grand Casino Arena and also 3M at Mariucci and runs through January 5th. It is the 50th anniversary of what, in my opinion, is the best annual tournament in sports. It hasn't been here in Minnesota since 1982. What it is it's the best under 20 players in the world. We're talking future National Hockey League stars competing on our ice right here. Single game tickets are now on sale. This just started, starting at $39. Available games include preliminary round and quarterfinal matchups. Medal round packages are going to be released at a later date. The tickets, of course, to the biggest matchups will move fast. So go to worldjuniorsmn26.com to grab your tickets today. worldjuniorsmn26.com to get your tickets today. Do not miss out on the action. It is going to be a great tournament. And AJ, on that note, you have been doing some sleuthing, some digging, and you are, just for folks that don't know, you're also our draft prospect expert on Judd's Hockey Show when we talk about the Wild. So we're going to jump the gun a bit here, and we're going to get to guys, some of whom have not been drafted yet, I'm guessing, some of whom have. But outline for me U.S. players that we should be excited about watching starting December 26th at both Grand Casino Arena and 3M at Mariucci.
Yeah, so these, just to preface this as well, a lot of projections for the U.S. team this year has everybody on the roster actually projected to be selected who has been already drafted. So that does take a little bit of a lure away, but I will say there are some guys that are newcomers to the team. You know, they're looking for their three-peat, but they aren't returning everybody. Just with how that turnover goes, you are going to have some newcomers. And there's going to be some debate. Some other people that with hockey prospect knowledge probably would say there's other guys that probably should be higher on your list. This is my list of top 5 guys that I personally am excited to see, who I think will, 1, get selected, and 2, show up and dazzle at the World Juniors here later this year. So to kick things off, we're going to stay in the division of the Wilds, in the Central Division, and that's with Nashville Predators prospect, right winger Riker Lee. He is a 6-foot winger. He's going to be starting here at Michigan State later this year. He was the 26th draft pick overall in this most previous draft here in the summer of 2025. But when it comes to skill, this is the guy. Like, he is in the truest form a dangler. Arguably the highest skilled guy in the USHL this year. And when it comes to crafty, this is your guy. The way that he kind of moves with the puck, D-men have nightmares when they get in one-on-one situations with him. He's got flashy hands, great set of eyes too, not to mention the ones in the back of his head. He's got a tremendous playmaking ability. And when he kind of gets to the NHL, I think we'll be seeing highlight reel plays from him on a somewhat nightly basis. But the thing is, to get to the NHL, he's probably going to have to take a step or two forward when it comes to his skating ability. There's a little bit to be desired there. So like, his play off the rush is good because of his playmaking and handling, but there is a little bit of a, where's that extra gear? But as you continue to grow, so does his physical form. Like, this is a guy that I think within the past 2 years has grown 5 inches. So you expect a couple, like, he was 5'7", I think 2 years ago. He's 6 foot now, with an expected, I think, inch or two more based on how that late bloomer goes. But he's projecting to be a top 6 guy once he does get to the NHL. And unfortunately for Wild fans, I think when he does get there, he's going to be terrorizing the Wild a few times a year.
So what you're telling me is the kid might be in need of a power skating coach, but beyond that, his hands are marvelous.
Yes, this is, I mean, if you've seen Goon, the hockey movie with Sean William Scott, this is your Xavier Laflamme minus maybe the skating ability. He is very, very talented on the puck. I mean, the Freddie phone booth thing turned up to 10 when it comes to, he's able to stick handle in the tightest of spaces, weaving in and out. He can kind of have it on a string. He's very fun to watch. And this is why he cracks my list at top 5, which he'll be a newcomer this year because he wasn't eligible age-wise to be on the team last year. So a newcomer to the team, I expect him to make it, and he should compete and dazzle on the biggest stage in kind of the 20 and under world of hockey.
Yep. Very nice. Okay. Number 2
on my list, we're going to stay in the center, go down south to Arizona State. He was drafted 32nd overall this past draft. Cullen Potter. He's a 5'10 center. He's going to be playing for Arizona State this year. And do you like watching silky skating? This is essentially Ken Wu from Mighty Ducks 2.
I love it.
He is, he can weave, cut, sidestep, stride on a dime. It really doesn't matter. And he does it all while magnificently holding onto the puck. If no one has possession, I bet you he's probably beat the opponents there because his engine, like his competitive level, is top tier. And the thing is, he's a magician off the rush, like kind of opposite of what I was just talking about with Riker Lee. Cullen Potter, he is like 0 to 60, bar none. One of the best skating prospects in the world when it comes to hockey. And he's surprisingly lethal in one-on-one situations because I think a lot of players so far don't expect just how good he is on his feet. He's a prospect with just so much top-end raw talent that right now you're kind of looking at a player and a prospect that has so many tools, but like mentally and IQ-wise, it hasn't really caught up there yet. So you see flash, but also it's not applied in the best ways. A lot of scouts maybe project him or compare him to Chicago's Frank Nazar, who
I like him.
A lot of people say that he's right now very boom or bust, so a less consistent version of him. But I think like the raw talent alone, he's got the foundations to be an everyday NHLer who should be a top 6 guy that, especially at this like World Junior tournament, should be able to go up with the best of them and impress for the U.S., which is why he cracks the list here, number 4 or number 2.
Gotcha. And Potter also initially committed to Michigan State before he flipped his commitment. It is incredible the amount of kids now and they must be just pulling down good salaries, right? Who are going to Penn State and Michigan State. Like Michigan State's in the running for everybody, and they ain't exactly a hockey factory. They're a nice program, but So Riker Lee, a right winger, Cullen Potter, center are your first 2.
Number 3, we're going to go to the blue line. Actually, the only blue liner that makes the list because of offensive talent, Cole Hudson, 5'11", Boston University, drafted 2024 43rd overall by the Washington Capitals. Last year for Team USA in the World Juniors, he in 7 games, he had 3 goals, 8 assists. This is your elite high-end offensive defenseman. And you might know his brother, Lane Hudson of the Montreal Canadiens. And Judd the Apple doesn't really fall far from the tree. He's coming off NCAA's Rookie of the Year award last year, following in Lane's footsteps as a highly talented offensive defenseman. He's got incredible on-puck movement, drives the play with the best of them, a bit more physicality to his game, which I think scouts do like, especially more than his brother, which I think is maybe the biggest nag on his game. But I would say the counter to that, he doesn't have as much IQ hockey sense as Lane. So there is a little bit of, you're hoping to have that catch up there. But once again, it's like the raw tools of he's young, he's explosive, he controls the play, and he's a guy that when you get out there, you sit up in your seat a little bit. It's like, what's he going to do this time? And that's what Lane Hudson brings. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, as a returner, I think for Team USA at the World Juniors should be another big year. Especially you'd expect him to maybe step up even more now that a guy like Zeev Buium will not be joining Team USA, and they're gonna look to him to maybe drive the blue line play.
All right, let's quickly touch on Cole's father, Rob. Okay, because this story came down the pike a few weeks ago now, but his dad, who played college hockey as well, suggested that Lane, his son, who's good, might play for Canada due to a recent Olympic snub from USA Hockey for the Olympics. Okay, so I want to make it very clear here. Parents who are this hands-on, if this story is altogether accurate, get out of the way. Leave Lane alone. He's a pro. Leave Cole alone. He can do it for himself. There's no question that Cole, his spot, of course, on the World Junior team, not in question. So that's not the issue. But Is there anything worse than hockey parents? And what I love is a hockey parent who is weighing in on his son's current predicament, and the kid's in the NHL. Dad, Robbie, let him go. Let him. And then, of course, poor Lane had to come back and say, no, I'm committed to the U.S. I'll play for the U.S. But let's not be threatening to go to another country and play. And let's leave both Cole and Lane alone. Okay, Rob? Thank you very much. That's my TED Talk.
Hockey parents are, I mean, you see it in like youth sports nowadays as well, but this is taking things to a new level. It's on steroids. Rob, deep breath. Let's relax. Both of your kids are super talented. They're going to get their chance. God forbid they miss out on one Olympics when he can't even buy a beer yet, you know?
Right. Exactly. And it's the freaking Olympic team with it's the all-star of all-star teams for each country that's playing. So anyway, I just want him to leave Cole alone too. Allow the coaches of these young men to do what the coaches do and go enjoy the games and drink a beer and be quiet.
Next on the list here, Islanders prospect taken 20th overall in the 2024 draft, left winger Cole Yzerman, who is a name that has graced this show before.
You love him.
I was down on him in previous years, especially right before his draft, but boy, has he kind of proved me wrong. The biggest knock in the past was he's got to improve his skating. He's got to get better at skating. Well, guess what, Judd? When you got one thing to work on, it's pretty easy to focus on it. And he's worked on his skating. It's still maybe not where a lot of scouts and coaches are hoping it to be, but it's taking massive steps in the right direction, which is promising for a guy who is entering another year here at Boston University. Last year at the World Juniors, 3 goals, 4 assists in 7 games, but a pure goal scorer. This guy, if you can think of a situation in hockey where somebody could potentially put the puck on net, I almost guarantee that he does it, and he does it consistently. Whether it's off the rush, low angle, jammed in tight, top of the crease, long range from near the top of the point. It really impressive, just the knack to find the back of the net that this guy has. His shot is about as good as you can come when it comes to a prospect. Austin Matthews is like the comparable shot that a lot of scouts have given him. It's just been such a fun thing to see this guy continuously grow, and it almost a full tool guy that should project to a consistent 30 goal automatic score once he does get into the NHL and kind of find his footing.
He's 19.
Yeah.
His birthday was August the 29th. I feel like we've been talking about this kid for 15 years.
He's like the Adley Rushman of,
Yes, I feel like we've been talking about him. No fault of his own. He's so good. But I feel like the first time that you brought this name up was a year and a half ago, 2 years. It just feels like a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's just funny how, like, when this guy is, hopefully he has a long, really productive hockey career in the NHL. When this kid's like 28, it's going to feel like he's 42.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's gonna get to wait, this guy is now an unrestricted free agent. It feels like he's been around in the league for 15 years. How is this even possible? And the thing is, by the time he gets to there, I bet you he's going to be a guy that eclipses the 40 goal mark at least twice. Like he's that good. If the Wild had needed to go up front, and frankly they could have, winger wise at the draft, he's the guy that they probably could have gotten instead of Zibuiam without having to trade up for him. But at the same time, Zibuiam was there. He should have been the pick. But the Islanders 20th overall for a talent. Now you're looking back and you're like, how did he slip that far?
Well,
he should have been top 15 a lock.
So I think one of the most interesting discussions in today's game, the pro game, is the skating, because there was a time when it might be a little bit of a knock, but guys got drafted high. Like if you had hands, guys got drafted high. And that's one of the things now is in your scouting reports or talking about the draft, or in this case, the World Juniors, it feels like you bring up skating a lot because that's in all of the reports now. And it's not just might be a problem. It's always is a problem. So, and look, the way this game moves now, I'm not surprised. So this doesn't shock me, but it has become such a huge sticking point when it used to be, okay, the most important thing was, yes, you had to be able to skate pretty well, but did you have the hands? But now it's like, if you don't have the foot speed, if you don't have the skating ability, the hands become much more of a, well, that's great, but you don't skate well enough to necessarily have it translate to a successful career, which from my era when I started to watch hockey is really weird, but it is a problem now if there's concerns about your ability to actually move.
Yeah, and that's where on the other end of the spectrum, Colin Potter, he willed himself into the first round, the guy who I just mentioned two players ago,
Yep.
because of his skating ability. The playmaking is definitely above average, but it's nowhere near the elite level of like shooting you're going to find on a Cole Eiserman. But that elite level of skating is pretty much what willed Colin Potter into the first round. A lot of teams are expecting, okay, maybe middle of second, we can probably work on some of the physicality, work on the shooting, work on that type of stuff. But it's the skating that is just so coveted nowadays. And so it's interesting to see what teams think, you have these other tools, we can work on the skating, versus it's just unsalvageable. We need a guy that can skate and then we'll work on everything else, which is what you're going to kind of see here with Cole Eiserman. But the number one guy on my list to watch, he will be on the team. He's a returning guy for the team, and he was drafted. He talked to Adam Sandler at the draft, a weird exchange where it was decentralized. They couldn't really conversate with his GM. It was a very awkward situation.
The draft was awful.
But it's James Hagen, BC
Okay.
Eagles, Boston Bruins draft pick, 7th overall. He had 9 points in 7 games at the World Juniors last year. Number 1 center for Team USA then, will be the number 1 center for Team USA now, and for good reason. He is the prototype for a player you want commanding the middle of the ice. Silky smooth skater, top-notch passing ability. He's been compared to other USA centers like Jack Hughes, Logan Cooley. That's pretty good company, if you ask me. He's just the dynamic skater with impeccable timing and IQ to process the game, which I think is maybe the biggest. He's got the mind of like a 26, 27-year-old while he's 19. So this is a guy that's going to be very, very fun to watch, not just at the World Juniors, but in his NHL career too. He makes his own space and is able to kind of read the room. When he does have maybe a guy or two converge on him, he can find the open man with ease. He'll be the top center for Team USA and a guy that drives the play, double shifting late in games if they need to find a goal against Canada, something like that. James Hagen, top USA player to watch, in my opinion, here for the World Juniors coming up.
Interesting. So of Lee and Cole Eiserman, which one of those guys do you think would be on the first line with Hagen, or do you think both of them? Because I think that you said that Lee, I've got him as a right wing, and Eiserman, obviously, I believe, is a left wing.
A lot of projections have both of those guys paired on the second line, because you're going to have Teddy Stiga and Brody Zimmer potentially on the top. But if you're going to take one of the two to move up, and this is just because I think the U.S. is going to have to be smart. They have so much talent, but the gap in top talent between them and teams like Canada, Finland, Sweden here, this tournament is a little closer together than I think what you've had in past years. So it will be a tougher road to a gold medal for Team USA. So they're going to have to be smart about their lineup. If one of those two guys is going to bump to the top, though, I think it's Eiserman. Like, he is your goal scorer. Riker Lee can help drive the play with his hands and everything like that. But if you need a guy that is going to find the back of the net, paired with James Hagen, who can get him the puck in good situations, it's going to be Cole Eiserman who goes to the top. And I just think that lethal shooting is, bar none, the best cheat code that Team USA can probably have when it comes to, putting teams on their heels, finding the back of the net, and getting early leads.
Of these 5, or if you take out Hagen, of the first four that you gave me, which one of the 4 do you think could go from being, on this list behind Hagen to maybe not passing him, but if it becomes a Hagen is 1A, this guy would be a 1B? Which of those 4 do you think that could possibly do that?
I'd lean towards Eiserman, but just because I've kind of been propping him up so much right now, I'll go to probably Cole Hudson. He's a premier defender. I feel like we don't have. I mean, if you think about it, there's Cale Makar, you have Heiskanen, you have some top tier NHLers, but like, when's the last time you've seen that prime Erik Karlsson? You're kind of seeing that maybe with his brother Lane, and I think you're going to get very similar product with Cole. I think that if he gets in the right situation with Washington, it'll be entering that kind of post Alexander Ovechkin era. I think he'll be the guy a lot of eyeballs turn to. He's going to be a superstar for them, and I think that he'll be kind of the player that defines Washington after the grade 8 leaves.
Awesome stuff, man. Again, this is JHS, Judd's Hockey Show, Road to the World Junior Championship, which is coming to Minnesota starting on December 26th, running through January 5th. Grand Casino Arena, of course, the Wild's home rink, and 3M at Mariucci, where the Gophers play. 50th anniversary of a tournament that was last year in 1982. Phil Housley was in high school, folks, at the time. It's the best under 20 players in the world. It is a bunch of guys that you're going to see in the National Hockey League, some of whom are going to be stars. Just as an example, the first time Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin faced off against each other was at this tournament. Single game tickets on sale now starting at $39. Preliminary round and quarterfinal matchup tickets are available. Medal round packages will go on sale at a later date. Go to worldjuniorsmn26.com, worldjuniorsmn26.com. And I'm telling you right now, this is the best annual tournament in sports. The NCAA basketball tournament takes a backseat to this one, folks. So again, worldjuniorsmn26.com. AJ, fantastic work. Judd's Hockey Show, A Road to the World Junior Championships. We'll be back soon with another episode. Thanks for watching this one.